Ever wondered about the difference between a sale and an agreement to sell? While they may seem interchangeable in everyday conversation, these terms have distinct meanings in the world of contract law. Let's dive in. A sale, as defined by the Sale of Goods Act, is a contract where the seller transfers or agrees to transfer the property in goods to the buyer for a price. In a sale, the property or ownership of goods is transferred immediately from the seller to the buyer. The seller cannot refuse to deliver the goods, and the buyer is obligated to pay the agreed price. Therefore, a sale is an executed contract. On the other hand, an agreement to sell is an agreement where the transfer of property and goods is to take place at a future time or subject to some condition thereafter to be fulfilled. This means that the ownership of the goods remains with the seller until the stipulated future time or until the fulfillment of the condition. Thus, an agreement to sell is an executory contract. Now, let's take a look at some key differences between these two concepts. One of the main differences is the transfer of ownership. In a sale, the ownership of goods is transferred immediately, while in an agreement to sell, the ownership is transferred at a future date or upon the fulfillment of a condition. Next is the risk of loss. In a sale, if the goods are destroyed, the loss falls on the buyer, even if the possession of goods is with the seller. However, in an agreement to sell, if goods are destroyed, the loss is borne by the seller, even if the goods are in the possession of the buyer. Lastly, let's consider the consequences of breach of contract. In a sale, the seller can sue the buyer for the price, even if the possession is not with the buyer. In an agreement to sell, the seller can only sue for damages, but not for the price, unless the goods are in possession of the buyer. In summary, a sale and an agreement to sell are both integral aspects of contract law, but they have distinct differences. A sale is an executed contract where the ownership of goods is transferred immediately, while an agreement to sell is an executory contract, where the ownership is transferred at a future date or upon the fulfillment of a condition. The risk of loss and consequences of breach of contract also vary between a sale and an agreement to sell. Understanding these differences is crucial in the world of business and legal transactions. So the next time you find yourself in a sale or agreement to sell situation, remember these key points. They could very well save you from a potential legal pitfall.